Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here for the OpManager 12 webinar session today. Before go ahead and starting the webinar session, I would like to understand if everyone can hear me and if everyone can see the screen OpManager 12 on the slide. If you can hear me well, can you go ahead and give me an S on the chat? Okay, I think everyone can see the slide now. So again, thank you everyone for joining the webinar session today. There is no doubt that OpManager 12 had created a lot of interest, and I suppose a couple of you would have already tried version 12 and joined today to learn more. I also expect that most of you present here are using version 11 and wanted to learn what is new in version 12, how it is different from version 11, how to migrate to version 12, and so on. Let me stop here for a quick minute, and I would like to run a poll to understand how many of you here are actually using version 12 and version 11. Well, thank you for participating, and that was so quick. I can see that a lot of participants are using version 11. So let's get started off. So this will be the agenda for our today's session, evolution of OpManager. I'll be talking about the journey of OpManager from version 4 to version 12 and its significance. Here I'll be talking about today's enterprise network challenge with an example, and we'll see how OpManager 12 is going to help us solve this problem easily. Benefits of an integrated tool. For existing users, how to migrate in 3 simple steps. This will be the primary part of our webinar session today. We also have a video on how to upgrade OpManager from version 11,600 to 12,200. I'll be sharing it with you after the session. So before we move on, at any point of time, please use the chat window from GoToWebinar panel to post your questions. Our panelists can answer your questions right there. Or don't worry, we have the last 15 minutes for the QA session, and you can get answers for all your questions during that time. As you all know, OpManager is an availability and performance management solution that helps enterprise proactively monitor business critical servers, routers, switches, firewalls, and pretty much it monitors all the SNMP enabled devices provided the MIB files are available. It empowers an IT administrator to troubleshoot performance issues quickly. It also helps the IT management team by neatly presenting the top 10 data with customizable dashboards and widgets. Manage Engine OpManager was launched in 2004. It was built over a WebMS framework which was developed by Manage Engine in the early 90s. 2004 to 2006 is the early stage and an important period for OpManager, where this was initially introduced with basic availability and performance monitoring for the servers and network devices. Over the period of time, we had introduced the most important features for monitoring the event logs, syslogs, and SNMP trap processing. All these helped the administrators to find the network faults and effectively troubleshoot the issues. Business View is one of the widely used feature in OpManager was introduced in this period. 2007 to 2010. So 2 years after the launch, OpManager was well positioned in the market and was competing with SolarWinds, WhatsApp Gold, and other big players. This was the time OpManager had stepped into the enterprise market by launching the Enterprise Edition, targeting the users with a distributed network environment. OpManager also extended the support for monitoring the Microsoft applications such as Microsoft Exchange, Microsoft SQL, and Active Directory. Customizable dashboard and widget is also effectively used by almost all administrators was introduced in this period. We had developed a plugin model to support the users who wanted to monitor and analyze the flow-based bandwidth and to back up the configurations of network devices NetFlow Analyzer and Network Configuration Management plugin was a great hit as 50% of our customers who bought OpManager also bought these two plugins. So between the period of 2011 and 2015, we had introduced features like IT automation workflows, Rack Builder, 3D Data Center Builder, and plugins for Applications Manager, IP management, and switch port mapping, smartphone apps for iOS and Android, and extending the support for trending VMware and Hyper-V technologies. And now, in 2016, we launched OpManager 12, the industry's first Fine One network management software. It integrates the top five managed engine softwares. And I'm going to play a short video of OpManager evolution from 2004 to 2016. Please have your headsets on, and I'm going to play it right away.
12 years ago, ManageEngine simplified IT management by building products for specific IT needs such as network management, application management, bandwidth analysis, firewall security, and network configuration management. Now, we have simplified IT management all over again. With OpManager 12, we have taken the 5-point products in our network management suite and integrated them into a single, comprehensive product. Our next-generation network management software offers data integration across all modules, network, server, and bandwidth monitoring, as well as firewall log, configuration, IP address, and switch port management. Your data is integrated across all modules and presented on dashboards, snapshot pages, business views, and inventory and alarms pages. You can easily drill down to a particular monitor and narrow down a fault. You can view all your data on one page without juggling multiple tabs. OpManager 12 gives you the agility to fix faults instantly before they impact your business. Unlike any network management software we've created before, OpManager 12 is more advanced and tightly integrates all our key network management products at just 98 megabytes. This is the next generation network management software, tailored for today's network management needs.
So as I said, it integrates the top five managed engine softwares, OpManager, health and performance monitoring, flow-based bandwidth analysis with NetFlow Analyzer, network configuration management with NCM, IP management and switch port mapping with OpUdils, and firewall log analysis with Firewall Analyzer. So all these standalone tools or plugins available as modules inside OpManager now. So except Firewall Analyzer, all these, the rest of the standalone tools were available as plugins for OpManager. So with that, we'll move on to the next part. Version 12 and its significance. Let's assume that a travel booking site had an outage and the users started experiencing multiple problems from different parts of the world. So these are the users who wanted to book their flight and hotels, but some were experiencing a slow login, some were having a problem with payment, some were even not able to access the booking form. The factors affecting the problem could be from anywhere, maybe due to application failure, or due to faulty router configuration, or even the problem could be with ISP. Does it matter to the end user? They just want the services to be up and running all the time. Let's assume we are in a similar situation. How many of us do you think pick up a phone or send an email to the vendor and wait for them to resolve the issue? As long as we have an alternate option, we'll just open the alternate site, make a booking, and the job is done. As a result, this company had lost many of their unhappy customers to the competitor. So this is a very critical problem as it impacts the business. Let's see how the IT team reacts in a situation like this, what type of tools they use to keep control of their service, application, and network. So, what do organizations do to gain visibility into their IT? 60 percentage of the medium enterprise use more than 10 tools to monitor the whole IT. The same way, this company had different tools and teams to manage, monitor the application, server, and network. So here is the scene at the IT team bay. The server and network team checks the app and confirms that the server and network are running fine and blaming it on the applications team. So when the application admin checks and confirms that even the app works fine and hints that the problem could be due to the network configuration change happened last night. When you have multiple tools and different teams to manage your whole IT, obviously you need more time to find troubleshoot the issue, and this is what happening right now. So the slide that you see now, the chart here, is a very important slide which shows the today's enterprise network challenge. So as you see, uh, the customer had used multiple tools from multiple vendors. And when you have multiple tools from multiple vendors, and this is what happens. So your RBM tool telling you that the login is slow, and your application tool telling you that the JVM is running out of thread, and your database tool is telling you that the SQL query is slow, and your network tool is telling you that the bandwidth is completely saturated. But what was the original problem? The users that were facing slow login, payment error, or even unable to access the form. But what was the root of the problem? When you have multiple tools from multiple vendors, it talks different language. It says the errors from its part. But there is a relation to all these issues. But what is the use if you can't track this down uh, automatically? If you want to spend time manually despite having multiple tools, and that's where the real challenge is. So looking at this chart, you can understand that the problem originated from the network. So the bandwidth was completely saturated, which is what making the SQL query to run slow, and which is what making the JVM to run out of thread, and which is what the users facing it as different problems: slow login, payment error, or even unable to access the form. But when you have multiple tools from multiple vendors and it doesn't have a tight integration, it doesn't communicate each other, and this is what happens. You need to spend time, more time, and you need to manually figure out what is the problem, and this is going to cost you more impact on your business. So this chart displays the impact of siloed IT monitoring, and this is a quick research done by EMA. So it displays the increased staff cost, increased capital cost, increased time for diagnostics and troubleshooting, slow deployments and software updates, lack of centralized control, difficulty in finding and hiring skilled staff, integrating legacy and new technology, increased operating cost, and security concerns. So with this, let me take you through the product and show how OpManager 12 can solve this problem easily. Let me just make sure that you all see the screen. Yes. So this is the new OpManager 12 UI. As you log in, it automatically takes you to the dashboard page, and it loads the data from the widgets that you had selected, and you can mark any one of the dashboard as your favorite, so that loads in the home screen when you as you log in. So as we were talking about the tight integration, as you can see, It displays the information of the network, servers, virtualization, net flow, network configuration management, firewall log analysis, and IP management. So this is the inventory page that you see. So this is where you will see all the discovered devices, and it has a common configuration. So once you add a router to OpManager, and it starts monitoring the availability and the health like CPU, memory, and temperature. And as soon as the router's interfaces starts exporting the flows, it automatically starts monitoring the flow based bandwidths that are received from these devices. And as soon as it also forwards the syslogs, you can when a firewall device is added and it starts sending out the syslogs to the OpManager server, it starts monitoring the firewall data as well. So it has a common configuration, so it has a tight integration, so you save a lot of time in configuring all this. So just add the device and configure things, and it will automatically take care of the monitoring the bandwidth and the firewall logs, everything. It also once you configure the telnet and ssh credentials, it also takes a backup of your the configurations of your network device, the startup and running config, and whenever there is a change, it's going to take a backup and make the history. It stores the history of the data and mark any one of the backup as the baseline, so you can use it, you can revert this when there is a disruption. So let's see, in the use case, we saw that the original problem was with the bandwidth that got saturated. So, so this is the alarms page that you're seeing, and you can filter this out based on alarms events, and you can filter this out with active alarms, or you can have it to display all alarms, or from syslogs, event logs, netflow alarms, and NCM alarms, firewall alarms, and so on. And you have different views at this page: list view, table view, and colored view. And we saw that the bandwidth was completely saturated. So when OpManager monitors the particular interface, maybe the QoS policies were configured wrongly on a particular link, so on which the non-business applications were using these bandwidth, and it was completely saturated, and that is what making the application to run slow. So as soon as OpManager receives the alarm, so what you can actually do is, so using the workflow, all that you're going to do is going to create a new workflow and add a configlet from the network configuration management task, and you're going to select the application that you want to disable. For example, let's assume that everyone were watching the Facebook video and you want to disable the Facebook video streaming. So you can create a configlet, and it will be available as template inside the network configuration management. And if you want to disable this, all that you will do is you just drag and drop this task, select the respective template, and hit on the trigger button and select on which device you want to apply this configlet to, and click next. You can select the alarm criteria on which task this workflow to be executed. So on seeing the alarm from NFA, or on seeing the alarm whenever it finds an assigned threshold is violated, and click next, select the time, and save it. So now this workflow has a task to disable the Facebook video live streaming, and it has assigned to the respective device. So that the next time when it sees that alarm, it is automatically going to execute that execute the configlet on the network device, and that will disable the Facebook video streaming and save the bandwidth for you. So how simple was that? And apart from that, You have a report builder which was newly added to version 12. So all that you will do is select the required devices from the inventory page and hit on generate reports. Here you're allowed to select the monitors that you want. It was previously not available. So you have a default set of reports that you will go ahead and create it. And if you want to create a custom report, you are allowed to select only based on the performance metrics, and for the group of devices for one performance metrics. But with the new report builder, if you want to select multiple performance metrics, and if you want to run this on all devices, or pick the device selected devices and hit on generate report, and that is it. You can view the graph of the report that you want, and you can export this as PDF, send it to the management. And this is one of the business views, is one of the most used feature by OpManager. So you can create a logical grouping between the devices. You can add links between devices that displays the traffic on the link, and whenever the status, whenever the it has the severity changed, whenever the device has a critical alarm or an attention alarm, it changes the color accordingly for each device, and you can have this loaded on the dashboard as well. And you can also build your own rack. It's all going to be drag and drop. And now with this, you can also build a data center builder and put all your rack created rack builders. It's a drag and drop. You can mention the floor size, the path, you can set the aisle, you can change the wall and save it, and you have a 3D look to your data center. And you have common settings for all these modules. And you can have this created and have the users to watch out the modules. If you want to disable, if you don't want this user to view the NCM or firewall, you can still do it by adding a scope for this user. So you have common settings for NetFlow, NCM, OpUdils. For existing customers, if you would have noticed, all the plugins that if you are in the version 11, you may need to jump to each plugin. You may need to use the jump to option and navigate to another plugin, and you need to do the configuration separately. But you can see all of them are available in one single page. And the same way, you have common reports for OpManager, NetFlow, NCM, OpUdils, firewall, and a common audit report. Let me also take you through the discovery. So this is where you will discover the devices in OpManager, and it available in multiple options, either by IP range or CIDR or CSV import. IP range is one of the widely used discovery mode. So if you notice at the top band, you will see the discovery cycle. So it displays the first thing is the input. So you'll use the discovery mode and provide the input. So from what range the device is to be discovered. The next thing is to associate the credentials. So you need to ensure that you have added all the relevant credentials before initiating the discovery. So when you select the right credential and discover the devices, it will automatically fall into the right category. So it will classify the devices automatically. If you miss out to select the right credential, or if you configured a wrong credential here, you can see that all the devices are falling it on the unknown category, and you may need to rebuild it to monitor the performances again. So ensure you create all the credentials before initiating the discovery. And rules. So using rule engine, you can predefine what you want to assign a task to the device as soon as it is discovered. So you can automate the post discovery job. If you want to put this device on a particular business view, or if you want to add a specific notification profile when the device is discovered from a specific IP range. In a minute, I'll show where you can find the rule engine and add more rules to get them discovered in the discovery profile. And you can also filter out the interfaces, so whether or not you want the specific interfaces to be discovered or not. So you can mention here, you can filter this out. So if you want to ignore the Ethernet port to be discovered on the particular uh, IP range which you are discovering, you can ignore that. And finally, you can schedule this. So for example, if you're building a network, if you're building a data center and you're developing the network, and you will be keep on adding the servers and applications on the network. And if this is going to be a task where you every week 20 device gets added to the respective subnet, you can create a discovery profile and have this discovered for weekly, so that you don't need to redo the job here by discovering the devices again and again. So it saves a lot of time for you. So once you create the discovery schedule and put this on for every weekly or daily or once, it's going to rediscover the devices during the respective time, and it is going to start monitoring the performances, bandwidth on the respective devices. You can also, if you have a VMware environment, you can also go ahead and add the vCenter device. It will automatically bring in all your associated ESX host and the guest VMs. And also OpManager supports the Hyper-V monitoring. So you can go ahead and add the host. It will automatically discover the guest VMs from the respective host. So I was telling you about the rule engine. So this is what it is all about. So if you want to automate certain post discovery job, so you can filter this out based on DNS name, category, IP address, and you can apply the filters, and you can create some actions. So you can say, if you want to put this device on a respective business view, it still do that. And if you have created a special notification profile for critical servers, and if you want any servers discovered from a specific IP range, and you want to assign these devices to be associated with the respective notification profile, you can still automate this. Doesn't mean that you need to go ahead and do this every time the respective device is added to the network. So with that, we'll go ahead and see the benefits of having an integrated tool. So it's highly scalable with OpManager Enterprise Edition. You can scale up to 50,000 devices or 1 million interfaces. You can grow your network infrastructure without re-architecting your environments. It's easy to maintain because it's a single installation. You have the 5 modules available inside OpManager, and you're going to do this with a single installation. You have a single service pack for all the 5 modules. You have a single backup for all 5 modules. You have common configurations, so it's very straightforward. So you save you can put this on a single server, and you can have your network team to manage the whole application. So it has the easy reporting option as I was showing in the demo. We have the videos embedded in the specific slides. We'll be sharing all these the presentation slides after the session, so you can go through it when you have time. Easy troubleshooting. So even a video embedded here, you can go through it later. So with that, we are moving on to the important segment of this webinar session. So how to upgrade from OpManager version 11,600 to version 12,200 in 3 simple steps. As I said, a video available for this. So we'll be sharing this post session. You can take a look at it when you have time. So how to upgrade from OpManager version 11,600 to version 12,200. The installation of OpManager that you see in this video is on the build 11,600 with the plugins such as NetFlow Analyzer, Network Configuration Manager, and OpUtils. So until version 11,600, all these plugins have to be installed and configured in OpManager. However, with version 12, these plugins are available as a built-in modules using a common framework, so thus avoiding the overhead with installation, configuration, and maintenance. So for customers using Applications Manager plugin, so there is no change with the way it works in version 11,600 and version 12. Please follow these guidelines before you start the upgrade. Ensure OpManager and all the plugins are in the latest version. In a little while, I'll show where you can find the build number of OpManager and other plugins. Backup. Ensure to backup the OpManager data before every upgrade. I would encourage you to backup the OpManager installation folder as well, as this will be helpful when something goes wrong with the upgrade. For customers who had installed OpManager on a virtual machine, a VM snapshot backup will be good enough. So click on the About link from the drop down to know the build number of OpManager. So it is on 11,600. And click on Jump to and navigate to NetFlow Analyzer main page and know the build number by clicking on the About link. So the latest plugin version is 10,250. Click on the Jump to again and select Device Expert to navigate to NCM plugin and click on the About link to know the build number. The latest one is 5980. Click on the Jump to again and navigate to IPAM and SPM plugin, and you will notice the build number at the top of the page. So with this, we can conclude that it meets all the prerequisites for the latest version. So we are good to go ahead with the upgrade. The upgrade can be performed in three easy steps. Step one is to backup OpManager data. Firstly, stop OpManager service and open the command prompt. It is important to run the command prompt with the elevated privilege. Go to bin backup and execute backupdb.bat. The backup will be completed in a couple of minutes. However, the time taken to backup the data vary from one environment to another, and it depends upon the number of factors such as number of devices, performance attributes configured for devices, frequency of the polling, and so on. The backup file is successfully created and available under the OpManager backup directory. Step 2 is to download the service pack from our website. Visit opmanager.com and download the correct ppm file. As you see, the installer is ready. And the step 3 is to install the service pack. Open the command prompt, make sure it is running on administrator mode, change the directory to OpManager, bin, and execute update-manager.bat. Browse and select the ppm file that was downloaded a while ago. Here we go. And you can click on install to start the service pack installation. As soon as you click on install button, the system will alert you to back up the configuration data. Click yes if you wanted to back up just the configuration data. As you click on yes, the system will automatically back up the configuration data. The upgrade process will take a minimum of 30 minutes or more depending upon the number of devices, interfaces, performance attributes configured for devices, frequency of the polling, and so on. If you experience any issues during the upgrade, do not panic. Your data is secure and available as a compressed file in the backup folder. And moreover, our tech support team is ready to help you with the upgrade service. Please contact support at opmanager.com immediately. Once you see the message service pack installed successfully, you're all set to traverse through OpManager version 12, and your experience is going to be better than the earlier versions. Start OpManager service and wait for a couple of minutes until all the modules are loaded. As soon as the service is started, the login screen shows up on the browser. The password remains unchanged during the upgrade. As you log in, you can take a tour and explore some of the highlighted features of version 12. So we have developed some solution videos and how to demos. And we have a channel OpManager Tech Videos on the YouTube. So when you have time, go ahead and subscribe, and you can find a lot of how to demos and solution videos. You can gain more knowledge. So this is the inventory page of version 12 where all the discovered devices are displayed, and the widgets on the dashboard displays the data segregated across various modules such as network, servers, virtualization, NetFlow, NCM, firewall, and IP address management. The events from all these modules grouped together in the alarm section. Let me show how various plugin data migrated and available under the respective modules. As you know, previously you need to jump to another page in order to access the plugins. Look how it is simplified with modules inside OpManager. Let me check the NetFlow module first. So we can see all the devices and interfaces from previous version. Click on the interface snapshot page to view the interface data such as total bytes transferred, traffic utilization, errors, discards, and more. Network Configuration Manager backs up the configurations of all these devices and maintains the history. It also prevents unauthorized changes and more. Firewall log analysis, as I said, it is a new addition that helps you mitigate the impact of the network attacks and monitors VPN traffic. The chart displays the data of the allowed and denied websites from the network, application reports, used and unused firewall rules, top attacks, and more. And finally, the IP management plugin. So it is also available as modules inside OpManager. It lists all the scanned subnets, discovered IP addresses, and more details on the network intrusion from the rogue tab. So as I said, it has the common settings for all the modules and as well as for the reports. So as I was telling you before, so we have developed a channel called OpManager Tech Videos, and as you can see, we have a couple of how-to demos and solution videos uploaded. So when you find time, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, and you can learn more about the OpManager version 12. And we'll be developing this with a lot of how-to demos and solution videos. And if you require any specific feature to be shown as in the how to demos, you can always feel free to shoot an email to support@opmanager.com. So with this, I'll leave the session for a 15 minutes Q&A session. You can feel free to post all the questions on the GoToWebinar panel. Okay, I have a question from Nirav Bhatt. So the question is whether the applications manager plugin is also integrated with OpManager 12. No, as of now, there is no change with the way it works between version 11 and version 12. It works as a plugin even in OpManager version 12. But a major goal for 2012 is to bring in this applications manager module plugin as a module inside OpManager. So this will happen very soon, sometime in 2017. So I'll also stop here. So as I receive more questions, I'll take some time to run another poll. So please participate in that. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, someone is asking whether the report builder is integrated in version 12. Yes, in 12.2, the reporting feature is available, the new report builder. And there is one more question from Alexander. So is it possible to disable features that we don't use? No, as of now, we don't have an option to disable the tabs or modules, but we'll think about it. I'll post this as a requirement to our feature team, and if there is any development, we'll keep you posted on it. Yes, there is one more question about the enterprise edition. The question is whether you need to upgrade the central first and whether it will automatically push the configurations to the probe automatically. Yes, you're right. You have to do it the same way. Since it is enterprise edition, I would recommend you to contact the support team at support@opmanager.com, and we will have our tech support team to help you upgrade your enterprise edition to the latest version. I suppose you must be on the 11,600. Okay, there is one more question from Kristen. So they have issues on NetFlow Analyzer plugin, and they wanted to know if they can fix that issue before upgrading to version 12. Yes, very well, you can do that. Please send us an email to support@opmanager.com or support@netflowanalyzer.com with the issue description, and we will try to fix the issue first, and then we can go ahead and upgrade this to version 12.2. So there's one more question about the enterprise edition upgrade. So please feel free to contact the support team. We'll assist you with the upgrade to version 12.2. Okay, there's someone asking about where they can give the telnet and SSH credentials in OpManager 12. So let me just quickly jump to the OpManager tab and show you. So all the configurations that you want to do, just go ahead, hit the settings tab and click on the discovery. So you have credentials tab here. Just click on it and add credentials. So that is it. So if you want the credentials to be applied for the network configuration to back up the configuration of your network devices, you have to move to backup filter from using the radio button and provide the telnet, SSH or SNMP credentials. And the question about the support for MySQL database. No, OpManager doesn't support MySQL database anymore. It works with PG-SQL. It comes as the default database. And if you want to use a remote SQL, you can just go ahead with Microsoft SQL, but MySQL is not supported anymore. And one more question from Wasim Akram, how to draw a network layer 2 map. So it's simple again. So you need to go to the settings tab, hit on discovery and click on layer 2 discovery. And all that you need to do is just provide the name, provide the root router address, the root device, and mention the IP range for which you wanted to draw the layer 2 map of your network. You can select the relevant credentials and select the discovery mechanism that the network supports. So it can be done through CDP, LLDP, IP route, FTP or ARP. You can also schedule this for the rescan. So whenever your network grow or whenever you remove an element from your network, so it can automatically redraw your network. So you can automate this by scheduling it by providing the scheduling interval. Okay, there's one more question about how to configure the CCTV view in new OpManager. So you just click on this icon at the top right corner. CCTV view. So you can go ahead and create the CCTV view and select the dashboards that you wanted to be displayed on the new CCTV view. So I'm keep getting a lot of questions. So what I'll do is I'll compile all these questions and I'll answer them and make a forum post, or I'll try to send it an email. So with this session, I'll be sending with a thank you email. Be sending out the presentation and also the links for the how to demos and solution videos that we had uploaded in our Op Manager Tech Videos YouTube channel. And we'll make a separate post compiling all these questions with the answers. So, and I once again thank you everyone for joining the webinar session today. We'll meet you all with another topic next month. Thank you for your time today. Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye bye.